Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Panchatattva, 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 Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Nrsimhadev, 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 Jaya Nrsimhadev. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki Gaur Premanande. Readings from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, titled Pure Devotional Service. Today we will examine text 9. But before getting into the text, let us chant the most auspicious invocation prayers. I'll chant, please try to repeat. Nigamakalpataror galitam phalam Sukamukat amrita dravasamyutam Pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam Muhuragho rasika bhuvibhavakaha Narayanam namaskritya Naranchaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayam mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nirṛtiṁ Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Rājya-kāmo manūn devān nirṛtiṁ tva abhicaran yajet nirṛtiṁ tva abhicaran yajet kāma-kāmo yajet somam akāmaḥ puruṣaṁ param rājya-kāmo manūn devān nirṛtiṁ tva abhicaran yajet kāma-kāmaḥ yajet somam akāmaḥ puruṣaṁ param rājya-kāmo manūn devān nirṛtiṁ abhicaran yajet kāma-kāmo yajet somam akāmaḥ puruṣaṁ param rājya-kāmo manūn devān nirṛtiṁ abhicaran yajet, kāma-kāmo yajet somam, akāmaḥ puruṣaṁ param, rājya-kāmo manūn devān, nirṛtiṁ abhicaran yajet, kāma-kāmo yajet somam, akāmaḥ puruṣaṁ param, rājya-kāmo manūn devān, nirṛtiṁ abhicaran yajet, kāma-kāmo yajet somam, akāmaḥ puruṣaṁ param. Matajis. rājya-kāmo manūn devān, nirṛtiṁ abhicaran yajet, kāma-kāmo yajet somam, akāmaḥ puruṣaṁ param. rājya-kāmo manūn devān, nirṛtiṁ abhicaran yajet, kāma-kāmo yajet somam, akāmaḥ puruṣaṁ param. rājya-kāmo manūn devān, nirṛtiṁ abhicaran yajet, kāma-kāmo yajet somam, akāmaḥ puruṣaṁ param. rājya-kāmaḥ, anyone desiring an empire or kingdom. manūn, the Manus, semi-incarnations of God. devān, demigods. nirṛtiṁ, demons. But abhicaran, desiring victory over the enemy. yajet, should worship. kāma-kāmaḥ, one who desires sense gratification. yajet, should worship. somam, the demigod named Candra. akāmaḥ, one who has no material desires to be fulfilled. puruṣaṁ, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. param, the Supreme. Translation, please repeat. One who desires domination over a kingdom or an empire should worship the Manus. One who desires victory over an enemy should worship the demons. And one who desires sense gratification should worship the moon. But one who desires nothing of material enjoyment should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. For a liberated person, all the enjoyments listed above are considered to be absolutely useless. Only those who are conditioned by material modes of external energy are captivated by different types of material enjoyment. In other words, the transcendentalist has no material desires to be fulfilled, whereas the materialist has all type of desires to be fulfilled. The Lord has proclaimed that the materialist who desires material enjoyment and thus seek the favor of demigods, as above mentioned, are not in control of their senses, so give themselves to nonsense. One should therefore not desire any sort of material enjoyment, being sensible enough to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The leaders of nonsensical persons are still more nonsensical because they preach openly and foolishly that one can worship any form of demigod and get the same result. This sort of preaching is not only against the teachings of Bhagavad Gita or those of the Srimad Bhagavatam, but is also foolish. Just as it is foolish to claim that with the purchase of any travel ticket, one may reach the same destination. No one can reach Bombay from Delhi by purchasing a ticket for Baroda. It is clearly defined herein that persons impregnated with different desires have different modes of worship, and one who has no desire for material enjoyment should worship the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, the Personality of Godhead. And this worshipping process is called devotional service. Pure devotional service means service to the Lord without any tinge of material desire, including the desire for fruitive activity and empirical speculation. For fulfillment of material desires, one may worship the Supreme Lord, but the result of such worship is different, as will be explained in the next verse. Generally, the Lord does not fulfill anyone's material desire for sense enjoyment, but He awards such benedictions to the worshippers of the Lord, for they ultimately come to the point of not desiring material enjoyment. The conclusion is that one must minimize the desires for material enjoyment, and for this one should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is described here as param, or beyond anything material. Srimad Shankaracharya has also stated Narayana Paro Avyaktat, the Supreme Lord is beyond the material encirclement. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Gurun Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaum Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschaittya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Jayapataga Swamini Namine Namah Charipadaine Kripapadayine Gaurakata Damadaya Nagaragramatarini Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangulangaya Tegrim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shigrum Dinatarinam Paramanandamadavam Sri Chaitanya Mishram Kathanchana Smrite Yasmin Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet Vismrite Paritam Syat Sri Chaitanyam Namamitam. Hare Krishna. So for the past 2-3 days, we are seeing a long list of Vedic shopping mall. So Sukadeva Goswami is spreading his wares in the shopping mall. And he is telling that whoever wants to go wherever they want to go for shopping, you can go to different places for shopping. So we are hearing about the Vedic shopping mall of Karmakanda, which actually gives so many different options to go to so many different people, and he gives a very exhaustive list of what all can be enjoyed in this material world, and looks very good and very attractive list. Seems that it's so many things is to be done here in this material world. So many different type of enjoyment needs to be enjoyed, and so many type of facility is available. That's the good news. But there's also bad news. What is the bad news? That we have already done all this, and still we are not satisfied. That is the bad news. puna puna charvita charvananam. That it is not that we have not seen all these things. From time immemorial, the jiva, he has taken different type of bodies. We have gone to different places. We have tried to enjoy to the best of our ability in different worlds, with different demigods, with different type of puja, sometime being atheist, sometime being demigod worshipper, sometime being rationalist, sometime being this ist, that ist, whatever ist is there, every ist we have tried. But none of the ist is working. None of it is working. We have become tired. We have become tired. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budau. Tiredness of material existence. We become very tired. Enough. This is enough. In third canto, there is very beautiful prayer of the living entity in the womb. He is saying that I have done this enough. Bhuyo yata vashanam tat anekarandram. That again and again I have entered into different wombs. I have taken different bodies. I have done this. Mame bhavishyat. No, in future I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this in future. I have had enough of this. I don't want to do this. Mame bhavishyat. So what is the method? Upasadita Vishnupadaha. I'll simply catch hold of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and I will perform pure devotional service, and I promise you, I promise myself, I will not enter another womb. I will not enter another womb. This is the last and final. I am done with this process. Sitting in the womb of a mother, being so much constricted, no space to move, so many worms and insects biting, passing stool and urine in the same place. And when the mother eats some very spicy, salty food, the whole skin burns. Enough. Enough. I don't want it anymore. No more shopping. I'm done with all the shopping. I don't want to do any more shopping. With great determination, the living entity prays, Mame bhavishyat. I will never enter again. I'm promising myself. What will I do? I'll simply get out and then run and catch hold of Krishna's lotus feet. Upasadita Vishnupadaha. I will do this. Then the process of birth takes over. And when the process of birth takes over, then there is excruciating pain both for the mother and for the child. It's excruciating pain because the child is been all said and done, he has been in a secure place. He is getting his food for 3 times a day. He is sitting in a secure place. Everything is nice arrangement for him. And he is being pushed into a place which is very, very insecure. His world has been like this. Suddenly his world has become like this. He doesn't know what to do. He forgets everything what he said and he starts crying like that. And everyone is happy. Oh, the baby is crying. Hey. Birth is not something which is to be celebrated. As much as death is not something which is to be celebrated. Birth is a contamination. It is a contamination of the pure jiva by material body, which is exactly opposite to the nature of the jiva. Jiva is Satchidananda Vigraha. Material body, Asat, Achit, Nirananda, Nirvigraha. This is the nature of material body. No connection. Only a madman will accept material body. Only a madman will accept material body. We are thinking that somebody else is mad, we are all right. We have this idea that the fellow who is going on the road, who doesn't know what he is doing, he has lost his mind, he may be talking to himself, you think he is mad, we are all right. But Rishabhadev says, Nūnam pramattaha kurute vikarma yat indriya pritaye apranoti. Pramattaha means completely mad. Prakrishta rupena mattaha. Completely mad. Nūnam pramattaha means there is no 1% doubt that he is completely mad. Without any scope for any type of doubt, it is completely confirmed that a soul who has taken material body is mad. Nūnam pramattaha. Welcome to happy birthday to you. You have accepted a mad body. So birth is a contamination. In Vedic system, when birth takes place, then in that house, contamination is observed. Just like death takes place, in the house, contamination period is observed. Same way, when birth takes place, contamination period is observed. Birth has to be made auspicious by doing various samskaras, by giving different charity, by doing so many things. Birth has to be made auspicious. Birth is not by nature auspicious. It is not by nature auspicious. It has to be made auspicious. Same way, death also has to be made auspicious by again giving different type of charity. Call the Brahmana, give him different type of charity, give him umbrella, give him shoes, give him gold, give him silver, feed the Brahmana, do go puja, make sure that if possible the guy before dying is holding the tail of the cow. Don't laugh, it's very important. Because when he holds the tail of the cow, then the cow actually can take him in his path very smoothly. We think, oh, what is cow? He's just going grazing. Cow has so many things to do. So, birth, death, growing process, everything has to be made auspicious. None of this is by nature auspicious. None of this is by nature auspicious. That's why samskaras are there. Samskaras are cleaning or cleansing processes. Janmana jayate shudraha, samskara dvijaha. By purificatory rites, one becomes twice born. This body, by nature, as it is left, is inauspicious. But it can be made auspicious by different processes. By different processes. It's not by nature auspicious. There are few things by nature auspicious. We all know them. What are they? If I chant the shloka, everybody will go out. But still I will chant. Mahaprasade Govinde, Nama Brahmani Vaishnave, Svalpa Punyavatam Rajan, Vishwasa Naiva Jayate. It is not Prasadam time. But these are by nature auspicious in this material world. Mahaprasad is by nature auspicious. The deity of Govinda is by nature auspicious. The holy name is by nature auspicious. Darshan of Vaishnavas is by nature auspicious. These are all by nature auspicious. Everything else in this material world is inauspicious. They all have to be made auspicious. And what is the process of making it auspicious? The process of making it auspicious is to connect it to the most auspicious. That most auspicious is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So unless we completely connect ourselves to the most auspicious, by nature, our lives will remain inauspicious. whatever we try to do, however we try to purify, however we try to adjust, it will never get adjusted. This material world is not a place to get adjusted. We should give up this idea that I can adjust and enjoy in this material world. We think, okay, Maya is very, very clever. Maya makes us think that today you are suffering, tomorrow you will be all right. Just adjust today's suffering. Tomorrow you are going to be perfect. It's never going to happen. We can never adjust ourselves to this material world because the very nature of this material world is opposite to the nature of the soul. The soul's nature is permanence. The soul's place is permanence. Na tad bhashayate suryo na sasanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nirṛtante tad dhāma paramam mama. Krishna is saying that this is my place. Yad gatva na nirṛtante tad dhāma paramam mama. What is the nature of this place? Abhicaran bonaloke punaravartina Arjuna. Wherever we go, we will get kicked out. Not that we cannot get kicked out from any place. Because we will go and occupy Brahma's position. Very good position. From the beginning of creation to the end of creation, I can sit there. After that, we have to get kicked out. Already our Brahma, 50 years is over. He is on the 51st year, first day. 28th cycle is running. So somebody is counting his age also. It is not that Brahma, he is there and he is eternally Brahma. No. He also has to go. Therefore, Brahma, with great fear, he offers his prayers for time factor. In the third canto is explained, second canto is explained, Brahma's prayers. With great fear, he offers prayers to the time factor. He says that, oh, this time factor, I am so much afraid of you, my dear Lord, as time factor, that I know my imminent destruction is waiting for me. So please protect me. Please protect me from falling victim to pride. Please protect me so that I don't become proud in the course of my actions of creating this material world. Brahma is praying for protection. So then where are we? We should also pray for protection because this material world is a very dangerous place. This is not a simple place. It looks very attractive, but it's very dangerous. Looks very, very attractive. It has many things to offer, but danger is lurking in everything. Even the process of Krishna consciousness, the most auspicious process, not without danger. Not without danger. Prabhupada writes in one purport in third canto, the path of Krishna consciousness is like walking on the racer's edge. Little carelessness, there will be havoc and there will be bloodshed. So, therefore, Kapila Dev explains the three types of devotees. Devotees in mode of ignorance, devotees in mode of passion, and devotees in mode of goodness. He elaborately explains three types of devotees who have different types of characters. And the whole fourth canto simply deals with this subject matter. Devotees in mode of goodness, devotees in mode of passion, devotees in mode of ignorance. Daksha is example of devotee in mode of ignorance. And what happens to him? All of us know. He gets a goat head. It's not very pleasant to have a goat head. And Daksha gets it. And when he gets it, when he actually thinks there is nobody to challenge him. When he thinks that there is nobody to challenge him, his authority is supreme. Nobody can challenge me. I cursed this Shiva. Who is he? Simple guy. Indecent guy. Doesn't know how to behave. I put him in place. I cursed him. And you know what happened? Brahma gave me promotion. I became the leader of Prajapatis. So I have full confidence of Brahma. I have become the leader of Prajapati. I can do whatever I want. I won't invite Lord Shiva. Who is he? Let him go and rot. What is the result of this pride? The result of this pride is that he becomes victim of one strand of hair of Lord Shiva. Becomes victim of one strand of hair of Lord Shiva. Becomes victim of that. He comes and kills it. On the same sacrificial arena, with the same weapon which is meant to cut the head of the sacrificial animal, on the same altar, he is put and his head is cut off. And Daksha is a devotee. It's not that he is not a devotee. He is not some, Karmi fellow who is on the street. A devotee. If we read the prayers of Daksha, Hamsaguhya prayers, he has so many things to say. He knows so many things. He offers wonderful prayers to the Lord. They are all full of meaning. And Prabhupada wrote so many big purports to Hamsaguhya prayers. I was thinking, what is this guy, Daksha? Useless guy, he's offering some prayer. What is it going to be? And Prabhupada writing big purport and wonderful prayers. So, it is not that Daksha did not have knowledge. Daksha had knowledge. But his knowledge was blinded by envy. His knowledge was blinded by envy for Lord Shiva, the greatest of Vaishnavas. And that envy pulled him to mode of ignorance. And as a result, he had to be punished by Lord Shiva. And even after getting punished by Lord Shiva, did he learn? No, he didn't learn. He went ahead and he cursed Narad Muni. And when he saw the Lord face to face, he simply asked the Lord, "Oh my Lord, please give me the benediction for unlimited sex life." And he didn't even regret for that benediction. When the Lord gave him that benediction, "Tatastu, you'll have power for unlimited sex life," he became very happy. "Oh, now I have power for unlimited sex life. Let me produce 10,000 kids, 20,000 kids, 50,000 kids." There was not even a tinge of regret that I blew it. But when we come to Dhruva, who is example of devotee in mode of passion, when he sees the Lord, his passion gets cleansed. And then he deeply regrets that why he wanted to see the Lord for some simple, unwanted benedictions. So he is literally pleading to the Lord that don't give me what I want. Dhruva was expecting that the Lord will come, he will see him, he will put him in Garuda, and then he will take him to Vaikuntha. That's what Dhruva was expecting. But the Lord came, he saw him, he touched him with his conch shell, Dhruva offered wonderful prayers, and the Lord left him and he went back. Dhruva was so regretful, because he got cleansed of his mode of passion. He got cleansed of his mode of passion. Then we see Prithu Maharaj, mode of goodness. Even though Indra, so many times, he comes and impedes his yajna. So many times he comes and impedes his yajna. But Prithu Maharaj, he doesn't worry. He keeps doing it. And then finally Brahma comes and says, "Stop it, don't do it. You're creating so much disturbance by this yajna." Prithu Maharaj stops it. He says, "Okay, I don't have a problem. Just stop it." Narada advised Dhruva, but Dhruva went against Narada's advice because of mode of passion. So many people advised Daksha. Daksha did not care for their advice because of mode of ignorance. But because Prithu was in mode of goodness, the moment he got advice, immediately he stopped. So therefore, in the preface of Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada says, in the matter of controlling the mind and senses, first of all, one should come to mode of goodness. Then, how to make progress will be revealed. So, as practicing devotees, it's very important for us to deeply meditate on this topic, that how to come out of lower modes. The process provides for it. We know that the process provides for it. What is that? Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki tada rajastamo bhava kāma-kāmaḥ chetayete ranaviddam sthitam sattve prasidati. The process provides for it. But we should also cooperate. It's not that the process provides for it, and even if you don't cooperate, everything will happen. We should also cooperate. Therefore, Rupa Goswami has given very important definition of pure devotional service. Anyabhilashita sunyam jnana karmadinavritam anukulyena krishnānusilanam bhaktiruttama. So, devotees understand that there are two aspects of this shloka. The primary characteristics and the secondary characteristics of pure devotional service. The primary characteristic of pure devotional service is that it is essentially done with a favorable mood towards Krishna. Krishna means Krishna, his incarnation, his expansions, and the pure devotees. All of them are included in Krishna. So one should be favorably inclined towards all of them. One should try to please them. Not one should try to please oneself. But there are also secondary characteristics. Secondary means it's not that it is not important. It further defines the primary characteristic. That's why it's called a secondary. It's not that primary characteristic important, secondary characteristic is not important. We should not mistake like that. Just because it is called a secondary, in Sanskrit, it's not called as secondary. It's called Swarupa Lakshan and Tatastha Lakshan. But in English, for want of words, we say primary and secondary. Swarupa Lakshan means the characteristic which cannot be separated from it. That's called Swarupa Lakshan. Tatastha Lakshan means the characteristic which further defines it for the sake of clarity. That's called Tatastha Lakshan. So secondary does not mean it is not important. Secondary simply means that we should, in order to further understand the Swarupa better, you should actually focus on the secondary, because you will further understand the Swarupa better. So therefore, secondary is also as important as the primary. The primary is the heart of it, but the secondary actually defines further what that heart means. So there Rupa Goswami says, Anyabhilashita sunyam. By nature, a devotee does not perform sinful activity. This is the first thing. By nature, his nature is like that. That's what the tha stands for. Anyabhilashita sunyam. A conditioned soul by nature performs sinful activity. That is his nature. Nūnam pramatta kurite vikarma. The fellow by nature performs sinful. He is by nature sinful. By nature, he is simply trying to torture the soul. He is the killer of the soul. He does not utilize the Vedic instruction to come out of a material body. Therefore, he is called as ātmaḥ. Nataret sa ātmaḥ. That one should use the facility of this material body to come out of the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. Nideham adyam sulamam sudurlabam plavam sukalpam gurukarnadharam mayyanukulyena nabhasvati ritam puman bhavabdir na taret sa ātmaḥ. Krishna has given so many beautiful instructions in Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavatam, so many different instructions. We should try to utilize those instructions. Prabhupada has expanded them in the Bhakti and the purports. We should try to understand them deeply by studying. And try our best to come out of this material existence. Enough, done. But when we don't do it, we become ātmaḥ, we become killer of the soul. By nature, conditioned soul is the killer of the soul. But by nature, a devotee does not do sinful activity. That is why Rupa Goswami has put the tha, anyabhilashi, tha sunyam. He doesn't say anyabhilasha sunyam. Anyabhilashi, tha sunyam. Very important. Tesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvantamoha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. That's the first thing. Tesham tvantagatam papam. Finish with sinful activity. That's why it's very important to follow the four regulative principles very, very strictly. In 6th canto, there is a story of Ajamila, and we all know that Ajamila got completely confused by seeing a Shudra and a Shudrani in a very compromising position. So Prabhupada writes in that purport that in those times there was only one Shudra and Shudrani in compromising position. But in Kali Yuga, it is easy to find so many scantily clad men and women in compromising position in all sorts of places. Is public view. Every advertisement you see is all women as some object of enjoyment. And openly people, even in campus I see sometimes people, the man and woman, they hold their hand and walk. No etiquette. Sometimes we see in Ganga, women don't know how to properly take bath. No etiquette. We see boys and girls riding together the same scooter. No etiquette. The nature of Kali Yuga. Prabhupada says that it's like this. Kali Yuga is like this. So, Prabhupada says, therefore, if we want to protect ourselves, we should strictly follow four regulative principles, chant 16 rounds. So, anyabhilashita sunyam. We should be very careful. We should be very afraid of Maya. We should not think, oh, Maya, oh, I'm chanting 16 rounds, I'm following four regulative principles. What? I can do whatever I want. What is the problem? I am Grahastha, 25 years married, I love my wife. I can go and talk to a woman alone. What is the problem? My wife is there. What is the problem? I like me, she likes her. I like her cooking. Everything is all right. I can talk to a woman alone. No. We should be very much afraid of Maya. Krishna gives warning, Bhagavad Gita, Daivihi yesha gunamayi mama maya dhuratyaya. He's not saying mama maya very easy, yeah. Take it easy, yeah. Mama maya, yeah. It doesn't say that. It gives very strict warning. Mama maya dhuratyaya. What is dhuratyaya mean? Very difficult to overcome. Dhuratyaya. Should not take it for granted. Oh, I am devotee, I am wearing Gantimala. In 6th canto it is said, Yamaraj has told to Yamaradutas, hey, don't go near people who are chanting Hare Krishna. Don't touch them. Keep far off from them. I have Yamaraj on my side. There is instruction. I am not going to hell. I am not the candidate to go to hell. In English we have saying, the path to hell is paved with good intentions. Be very careful. Anyabhilashita sunyam. Rupa Goswami is warning, Shruti, Smriti, Puranadi, Pancharatra vidim vina, aikantiki haribhaktir, utpadeva kalpate. We should not become disturbance to the society. We should try to contribute to the society. We should not become disturbance to society. We should be very, very careful. We came to ISKCON to perform Sankirtana Yajna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We should be very careful that our Sankirtana Yajna should not become Daksha Yajna. Be very, very careful. We should not think, oh, Daksha, Brahma's time, Daksha, he did some yajna, they got his head cut. I got nothing to do with it. But there is every opportunity that our Sankirtana yajna also can become Daksha yajna. It's not that something is unrelated thing happening there and I am sitting here. Very, very carefully we should watch whether we are doing Sankirtana yajna or Daksha yajna. Are we become victim of our own envy? Are we become victim of our own pride? Are we thinking that Maya will not touch me? Are we thinking that rules and regulation is for everybody, not for me? In Kali Yuga, everybody has this holy understanding. What is that? Everybody else should follow rules and regulation, not me. Kali Yuga is a very nice place. Everyone comes with all sorts of understandings. So rules and regulations first apply for me, then for anybody else. Whenever we hear some instruction of warning, we should always first of all apply it to ourselves. We should not take a pen and paper and start looking at people. Oh, which fellow is now neglecting this warning? Let me make a list of all these fellows. So whenever I give Bhagavatam class, everybody is thinking I am giving class for everybody else. Actually, I am giving class for myself. So this is very important. Because the problem with Kali Yuga is that it's very, very difficult to do something good in Kali Yuga. But if you want to do sinful activity in Kali Yuga, 100 people will come and support you. They will knock your door, come inside, encourage you, and then when you do the sinful activity, they will glorify you also. Because this is very nature of Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, what is correct becomes wrong, and what is wrong becomes right. If you progressively see what is happening with Kali Yuga, in terms of people, consciousness, governments, whatever is considered wrong, even 50 years before, now government is passing law that this is all legal, it's all right, you can do it. Kali Yuga is a dangerous place. That's why in Kali Yuga, if you do sin, then reaction comes. And if you think of good thing, you get benefit. If you think of sin, reaction doesn't come. But the danger is, the moment you think of sin, there's so much encouragement to do it, that when you think of it, you'll simply do it. That's the problem in Kali Yuga. When we think of sin, immediately we'll get opportunity. Opportunity will come itself. It will knock the door. Hello, Mr. Sin, you want to do it? I am that sin. Can you please do me? It will present itself. So we should be very careful. Mama Maya, Duratyaya. We should be very much afraid of Maya. Anya-abhilashita sunyam. By nature, we should try to change that. The whole process of devotional service is trying to change that nature of being sinful to the nature of becoming devotional. That nature has to change. That's why Prabhupada says that advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. It's a very deep statement. We should constantly check what is our attitude. We are going to see in this chapter in the end that if tears don't come, if the body doesn't show transformation by chanting the holy name, then the heart is made of steel. So we should see, is our heart changing, or is it becoming softened by the process, or it is becoming harder and harder because we are not giving attention to the direction of devotional service, as explained by our previous acharya, Sanya-abhilashita sunyam, jnana-karmadhya-navritam. Very, very important. Very important. Very important. So, therefore, Prabhupada has very nicely explained in this particular shloka that we should focus on pure devotional service. Pure devotional service means service to the Lord without any tinge of material desire, including the desire for fruitive activities and empiric speculation. For fulfillment of material desires, one may worship the Supreme Lord, but the result of such worship is different and will be explained in the next verse. Generally, the Lord does not fulfill anyone's material desire for sense enjoyment, but he awards such benedictions to the worshippers of the Lord, for they ultimately come to the point of not desiring material enjoyment. And then Prabhupada gives conclusion. What is the conclusion? The conclusion is that one must minimize the desire for material enjoyment. For this, one should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is described here as param, beyond anything material. So therefore, we should choose our prayers. Very nice prayers, wonderful prayers. So many prayers are there in Bhagavatam, which actually seek protection from this tendency to enjoy material nature. Like Prahlad is praying to Nrsimhadev, Om Namo Bhagavate Nrsimhaya Namaste Tejase Avir Bhava Vajranaka Vajradamsa Karmashrayan Randhaya Randhaya Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Shraum Abhayam Atmani Bhuistam Om Shraum. Very beautiful sloka. We should choose prayers. We invite the Lord into our heart. Let him remove these material desires. Let him remove the tinge of material desires in our heart. We should become prayerful in the process of Krishna consciousness. And Lord is there. He is there. He is always with us to help us. So definitely Krishna will help us. That's our hope. That's the hope against hope. That somehow or other we can attract Krishna's mercy, even though we are full of disqualification. Therefore, we should utilize every opportunity which is given to us. We should utilize. We should be prayerful. We should be afraid of Maya. And we should take full advantage of this wonderful institution which is given to us by Prabhupada, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, some comments, questions? We have about 5 minutes.
Hare Krishna, thank you for a nice description. When this kind of pastimes comes in Bhagavatam, many times this kind of things come about material benediction is being described. Now, the whole purpose of Bhagavatam was, when Vyasadeva made it or recompiled it, was that all the Purana contains this only. They give like some material benediction, ultimately they give how they can come to devotional service. And Bhagavatam itself says dharma projita, all cheating religion are sent out. Then nigam kalpa, this fruit without seed, without skin. So what we should be expecting in Bhagavatam is like completely pure thing, where no material benediction is being offered. No chance of confusion actually. But still we find such things in Bhagavatam. So what is the purpose of this thing?
No, that like you are talking about, sometimes Falashruti has some material benediction.
Like this also, and then
no, this is purely a warning. No, this anybody who reads intelligently will understand that we are not supposed to do it. Okay. But there are Falashrutis which actually offer some material benediction, etc. These are some attractions to get materialist into to read Srimad Bhagavatam. Then they can actually understand that what they are getting into is wrong. Okay. And there are also distractions for those who are unqualified. There are two things: attraction for innocent and distraction for those who are unqualified. Both. Bhagavatam is also sometimes like Mohini. It can distract people. Unless you are razor sharp, concentrating on what you want, Bhagavatam can just simply distract us. So that's also a test for us. Sometimes Bhagavatam there are very elaborate description of how to flirt with a woman. There's a whole chapter like that. Okay. There is one king who is flirting with his future wife. He is very elaborately given. Whole chapter is that only. Okay. But and they are all very good information for people who want to flirt with a woman. Okay. But if you just carried away by that, then happy birthday to you, see you in the next life. So therefore, one has to become focused. So Bhagavatam offers these things as a warning and also as a test. That's how it is.
Like Vyasadeva was told by Narad Muni only like Subhava Raktasya Mahar Vyatikarma. You have done but thing like people are already attracted towards sense gratification and you have induced them more. Like looks like similar thing is like in Bhagavatam.
No, it's not similar because we don't know karma-kanda, so therefore we are telling them. Karma-kanda says this is it, nothing more. Bhagavatam doesn't say like that. You can also get this, that's what Bhagavatam says. It's very, very different.
Thank you, Prabhu, as always, for a really interesting and informative and educational class. So many points for us to meditate on. I have a question regarding sinful activities. As you rightly pointed out, the atmosphere is so conducive for sinful activities. Supposing I am a leader and I have a lot of people offering me services, so many beautiful girls saying, "Oh Maharaj, let me press your feet, you must be so tired," and so on and so on and so on. Internally, I know I am slipping. I'm beginning to enjoy all these things, which I shouldn't actually be enjoying. But because no one knows, I think I can get away with it. What should a leader who is slipping like this do?
See, generally there should be multiple levels of oversight. You know, we should subject ourselves to multiple levels of oversight. One of the important things for sannyasis is that they should not be alone. Let alone being with women alone, they should not be alone by themselves also. Generally in brahmacharya ashram also, that's why brahmacharis don't have a separate room. They don't have a room by themselves. These are all natural protections which is given to them. So whatever natural protection is there, which is there that's why Prabhupada said that we need varnashram. See, varnashram of course is a big subject, but the most important principle of varnashram is that the varnashram doesn't allow anyone to do something which he is not supposed to do. Nowadays people prefer this English word psychophysical nature, but psychophysical nature is very, very different from varnashram. I can say my psychophysical nature is to have sex with a man, then that's it, finished. But varnashram doesn't allow a man to have sex with a man. So psychophysical nature is not directly varnashram. Varnashram is different. It allows for proper restricted usage of psychophysical nature, but that is not only psychophysical nature. So therefore varnashram is important, because varnashram by nature doesn't allow somebody to do something. It doesn't allow a brahmachari to deal intimately with a woman. It doesn't allow a sannyasi to be with a woman. It just doesn't allow these things. So that's why varnashram is very important. That's why Prabhupada said varnashram is important for us. That's why Prabhupada said 50% of my mission is not completed. So that's an important subject. Of course, it's a whole subject. We can talk, months and months, years and years about it. But the very basic understanding is that varnashram should be used as the restricting safety net. That even if you fall down, you simply fall down to mode of goodness. Okay. You don't fall down to mode of ignorance. That's what varnashram does to you. In circus, I don't know how many people have seen circus, but when I was a small boy, I have seen circus. In circus, finally they do something called as a bar. The circus fellows swing from one side to another side. There will be high tent. On top of the tent, they'll be swinging from one side to another side. But before they start that program, they will tie a huge net. Why they are tying that net? In case the fellow slips by chance, he will fall on that net and he will bounce and he will not get hurt. That's what varnashram is. That even if you fall down, you simply fall down to mode of goodness. You don't fall down to passion and ignorance. And by nature, you are restricted. This is your varna, this is your ashrama. You can do this, you cannot do this. The moment you do this, then the deviation is very glaring. It is like, oh, you are in this ashram, how are you doing this? You should not do this. It's very glaring. The deviation becomes very glaring. So that's why varnashram is required. That's why varnashram is important. The principle of varnashram could be utilized. The details of varnashram we can debate for the rest of our life. But the principle of varnashram should be utilized. That's how it is. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Gaur Premanande.